This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Drive, Jamie. I'm told on December the 5th at 2 Docks when we give away $2,500. Anybody that has won can still win, okay? Anybody can win. All you have to do is come and sign up that day. We're also going to have other gift cards available. We're also going to have some additional $250 prizes, cash awards, in addition to the $2,500. And then the Home Zone's going to throw in a recliner, okay?
Nice.
So, I mean, a brand new, nice recliner.
And they promise Chuck hasn't taken a nap in it
I have
yet.
not taken a nap in it. Right. I've not taken a nap in it. May or may not have had just a skosh of a nap last night while I was watching the game. May or may not have. Let's see here. Just tuned in and didn't watch the game, but it looks like our strong 3 point, which is threes, wasn't there last night, and we never adjusted. Yeah, I think you read that right. I see a lot of overreaction on this chat line. It's one game, goodness, Syntax Hank offers this.
It's a game you shouldn't have lost.
It is.
It's a game you were more talented than the other team.
Yes.
I don't know. It wasn't a game where I felt like you played smart basketball.
Yeah. All those things. Syntax Hank says this. From the tone of many statements here about last night's game, you'd think it took place a week before Selection Sunday. I doubt it'll destroy our chance for a good seed in the tournament. Yeah, but it'll be a blemish.
But if we continue to refuse to adjust when we're not making threes, that will hurt our chances.
Yes, absolutely.
Hurt our seed.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Big 12 football this weekend. Let me run down these games for you real quick and tell me what you're most interested in. Arizona is at TCU. Arizona State plays host to BYU. Baylor is at Houston. UCF is at West Virginia. Cincinnati is at Kansas State. Colorado will play Kansas at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Iowa State is at Utah, and that is it, in addition to, of course, Texas Tech and Oklahoma State.
I mean, this is a layup, right? BYU and Arizona State. I mean, you got two of the top three teams in the conference right there, right? Yeah. That's got to be the most interesting matchup.
I didn't know if something else intrigued you or if you were interested in something else.
Oh, I'm interested in all of them to a certain degree. They all mean something.
Yeah.
All of them.
In the kind of the course of kind of who you want to see in it, or do you even care who's in the Big 12 championship game at this point?
I'd prefer Colorado not be.
Okay.
But I don't even think that's possible, and then they just start losing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Right now it's BYU and Colorado at the top, and then Arizona State and Iowa State. So those are the four teams that are in contention. So I'm gonna guess. Let me just. So who are you rooting for between Arizona State and BYU?
I kind of am okay with both schools. I guess BYU.
Okay.
I guess BYU.
See, I always liked Arizona State's Sun Devil on the side of their helmet. As a kid. Mm-hmm. So I'm rooting for Arizona State just because of that. I mean, I know that's it. That's it for me. I have nothing harsh against BYU or anything along those lines. I think their stadium is beautiful. The backdrop is awesome. I got no issues with any of their people or anything like that. So I'm fine. Then I'm obviously rooting for KU versus Colorado. I don't know. I'll give them a little bit of a chance. I mean, they seem like they've figured out some things, but they're 3-4 in the Big 12, 4-6. They have to win out just to be eligible for a bowl game. I mean, they're trying to salvage their season. I mean, they along with many others are disappointed, obviously, with how their season is going compared to how they thought it was going to go. Do you give them much of a chance tomorrow against Colorado?
Oh, they're playing at a high level right now. Obviously, 2 ranked wins in a row. I would favor Colorado to win the game, but I give them a chance.
Yeah, Colorado's favored by 3, and Colorado's playing pretty high too, right?
They haven't lost in a long time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then what about Iowa State? Do you feel like you'd like to see them in the Big 12 championship game? I don't know what all has to happen. Obviously, they've got to win, and some other teams got to lose ahead of them because they have 2 losses, and BYU and Colorado each have just the 1. They play at Utah. That would seem to me like a game that they should win.
I would agree.
And then they finish up with
by 7.
Finish up with K-State, so it doesn't seem like that's going to be the game like we thought it was going to be, because we thought it was going to be a play-in game for the Big 12, but it may be for one team, but not for Kansas State.
If you look at the records there, both Iowa State and Kansas State are in the mix. It's clearly a little bit more challenging for K-State with their 3 Big 12 losses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Heck, speaking of in the mix, I think it was Rob Breaux when Jeff was on with him yesterday during the end of the bench or the bottom line, one of the two.
End of the bench.
That the Dallas Cowboys still have a chance to be the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs.
That's exciting.
No, 17 things have to happen, including a bunch of teams losing out, the Cowboys winning out. No NFC team can lose to every NFC team has to lose to an AFC team. Theoretically, they're not. It was his story, but he had there were a bunch of things listed, but technically they're not eliminated from being the number 1 seed in the NFC. Technically.
Okay, so there's hope.
There's not much, but there is hope. Yes. I think I'm rooting for Iowa State to win at Utah. I wouldn't mind seeing them in the Big 12 championship game, as opposed to Colorado and BYU. I'm fine if they do. So we'll see. We'll see what happens this weekend. We'll have Texas Tech football for you as the Red Raiders take on Oklahoma State. Get some comments and some notes that I took from Red Raider football with Joey McGuire last night. His final radio show of his weekly version last night. Give you some tidbits from that this morning. But next, it's This Day in Sports History and a lucky local winning word.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
In sports history, it is Friday, November 22nd, 2024. Here is Jeff McGuire.
Starting in 1945, Cleveland Rams and Jim Benson gained 303 yards in a 28-21 win over the Detroit Lions, an NFL single-game rushing record that would stand for 40 years.
Wow.
1952, this is one of those times that I'm calling for help from the Red Raider football fan base. The Red Raider football team goes on the road and picks up a 19-14 win over Arizona. That is all I know about this game. I know the date, and I know the final score and where it was played. I would love to have more information on this game.
The last time that you asked for this was about a week ago. Did you get any intel?
I did not, but that doesn't mean it's not.
I tried. I tried. I thought I was. I came. What I thought was. I got to a point where I thought I was getting close and was going to get a box score, and
then it disappeared.
Yeah.
Yep. But this is why I put this out there, because somebody out there has a newspaper article or a recap of it that we can add to it. So the 1952 Arizona Tech wins 1914. 1961, St. Louis Hawks Bob Pettit,
yeah,
sets an NBA record, hitting 19 of 19 free throws in a single game.
Nice.
He had the Jamie Lent manual there.
Something like that.
Do you have? Are you going to put out a picture book of how to do that?
Make your free throws?
Yeah, like shooting technique and things like that.
Same way you get to Carnegie Hall. Practice.
I got one out that's like how to host a radio show.
Oh, you did?
Are you going to read it?
Sure. Does that? I mean, as long as it doesn't have a lot of words. I mean, if it's got pictures and short, brief statements, then yeah.
Yes, Chuck does not like a lot of words.
Wow. Thought I was doing pretty good, but maybe not.
I write no manuals. I claim to be an expert of nothing.
Okay.
1986, Tyrone Thurman's 67-yard punt return for a touchdown, and Irvin Ferris's 2 touchdowns helped Texas Tech beat Houston 34-7 to earn a bowl bid.
Nice. Bowl bound, baby.
1972, Philadelphia Flyers beat the New York Islanders and start them on a 15-game winless streak. 1986, 20-year-old Mike Tyson becomes the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history when he stops title holder Trevor Burdick in the second round in Las Vegas Hilton to earn the WBC title. 1998, 48th NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship went to
Jeff Gordon. I just guessed.
That's a good guess in the 90s. 2016, Vegas Golden Knights is revealed to be the Los Angeles NHL expansion team's name. Happy National Cranberry Relish Day.
I'm completely out on that. The only kind of cranberry sauce that I like is the kind that comes out of the can once a year at Thanksgiving. That's it.
Happy birthday to former Texas Tech Red Raider third baseman Reed Redmond, 36 today. Also birthdays today, Scarlett Johansson is 40, Jamie Lee Curtis is 66, Mark Ruffalo is 57, Billie Jean King, 81, Juju Smith-Schuster is 28, Brock Osweiler is 34, and Joe Nathan is 50. And do I really need to tell you what happened on this day in 1963 in Dallas?
You don't.
Not a good day.
I will say this, with regard to JFK and all the stuff that is, still comes out about it. If you've not seen the movie Parkland and you're into this, into the whole assassination and theories and all, it's excellent. And it's not that long. It's like I want to say it's about an hour and 20 minutes. So you would enjoy it, Jeff.
Except that I know how bullet trajectory works. So there was one shooter from the 6th floor building of the
So you don't believe there was another? See, I
don't know why he didn't take the straight shot. Somebody could have been standing behind him, but the lone gunman. Yeah, I know how bullets work.
Okay.
And that is this day in sports history.
A manual coming out from Jeff on bullets and stuff like that. Time for our lucky local winning word this morning. It is brought to you by us and the Home Zone, making your house a home. Okay. You can go to WT973.com and enter this word. All right. The word this morning is tea. Not iced tea, not unsweet tea, not sweetened tea, but like tea as in golf tee, T-E-E kind of tea.
Okay.
Right? Or a kicking tee, like when they say, tee it up. He's going to tee it up from the 35. Or he's going to tee it up from the white tips or whatever. Tea, T-E-E. Go to WT973.com. Enter that word. You could win $250. All right. From us and the Home Zone today. And then, of course, you can come out on December the 5th. And you're gonna win something, maybe, but you can't win if you don't show up. And we want to see you on December the 5th. So come out and do that at $2. And we encourage you to. Our last words are going to be next Tuesday, and we'll give away money also next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Jamie.
Good.
Okay.
Happy
well,
times.
not Thursday, because Thursday's Thanksgiving. But I was told yesterday we're going to have a double winner on we'll have an extra winner, I guess, on Friday, I guess. I'm not sure how it all works, but anyway, since we're not giving away cash on Thursday, we're going to give away some extra cash on Friday. Okay?
Okay.
All right, that'll wrap that up this morning. 6:51 this morning here on the Morning Drive. There was a friend of my folks from Vernon who was working in the Parkland ER that day. Okay, well then, maybe you'd recognize that person. Not that they were in the movie, but I'm just telling you the movie Parkland was really good. Another movie that I watched Tuesday, Jamie, and I don't know if you would enjoy this or not, and because I didn't know that I would enjoy it. I very rarely will go back and watch a movie a second time unless it's like something that I find really highly entertaining, like Blues Brothers, Animal House, things along those lines. Some of the more movies like Great Escape, Dirty Dozen, I've watched numerous times. But I watched Oppenheimer. Mm-hmm. Have you seen it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yep. That was one I almost watched on Wednesday night, as a matter of fact.
Okay. I was very intrigued by it. I didn't know, and I didn't know the whole story. So it was one of those things where there's some history, a lot of history there, obviously with the atomic bomb, et cetera, et cetera. But I didn't know his entire background and the controversy with him and things along those lines. And I'm a big history guy, and so I don't know how that escaped me, but it did. But I really enjoyed that movie. It's a long movie. It's 3 hours. So I watched it in two different kind of opportunities. But anyway, if you've not seen it and you find that kind of stuff interesting, I think you'd be intrigued by it. We'll take score predictions for tomorrow with Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. And if you want to give us one for Tech and Syracuse tonight, you certainly can. We'll have coverage from Brooklyn beginning at 5, the tips at 6 tonight, and then Texas and St. Joseph's will play tonight after that. We'll also have some high school football on the air for you tonight as Friendship meets South Lake Carroll. That'll be at 5:30. We'll have that for you on 93.7 The Eagle with the kick at 6. Lubbock Cooper faces Walnut Grove. They're out of Prosper. That'll be at 6:30 tonight on 100.7 The Score. And Idalou and Stanton tonight on Sunny 97.7. Tonight at 6:30 with the kick at 7. Monterey's in action tomorrow. They play Denton Ryan. That'll be at 2 o'clock, also on 93.7 The Eagle tomorrow afternoon. So be looking for that. And Estacado's in action as well. So
go Mats.
They're still trying to slap people around a little bit, see if they can advance on in the playoffs. All right.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
As well, but at the same time, not that you're not unaggressive with your run game. Mm-hmm. I would think that with them being so poor stopping the run, that we would see a lot of Taj Brooks in this game.
I would think so.
He brought this up in the Monday press conference with regards to starting fast. Mm-hmm. They have. Mm-hmm. They've done a very good job on your first and second drives.
Yeah.
A very good job, maybe a slight exaggeration, but they've done well.
Yes.
How about we keep going fast?
Yeah, right.
You don't stop going fast. Mm-hmm. How about you take some of the momentum into the second half of the game?
Yeah.
How about completing some passes in the third quarter?
I think you're speaking truth there.
It's we need to start fast. No, Coach, you need to keep going. And you said it on Monday. Yeah. I'm a little annoyed now. If you couldn't,
you're a little annoyed. What? Not to be a jerk or anything, but I kind of feel like I need to say, like on behalf of the whole class, when are you not?
I wasn't annoyed before I heard that.
Okay. The AJ McCarty said this. He said, "We got to play with our hair on fire, Jamie." I love that. We got to play with our hair on fire. And then he also said we have to out-physical them. I think there's some of that too. That from a defensive standpoint, you could.
What football game in the history of ever?
I know.
Have we not needed to out-physical people?
Right. No.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
So here's just some to support what you're talking about with regard to running the football. They are 16th in rushing defense in the Big 12. There are 16 teams in the Big 12. They are 132nd in rush defense in the FBS. The average giving up 241 yards a ball game. Would you be disappointed with anything less than 241 yards of rushing tomorrow? Or do you think it takes that much? Not by Taj, but I mean just all total.
Yeah, but I mean, what Taj, when you're talking about your rushing yards, what is Taj in any given game? Like 90% of it?
Yeah, he's the most of them, right?
Yeah, I don't think we need to have 241 rushing yards to win the game.
Okay.
I would think Taj has a chance to be north of 150.
Okay.
175, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in that range, and I would think that would give you a really good chance to win the football game.
Yeah. Both teams don't really defend the pass very well. So where's the advantage? Texas Tech is 16th in passing defense in the Big 12. There's 16 teams. You average giving up 306 yards a ball game. You're 132nd in the FBS. So as bad as they are against the rush, that's how bad you are against the pass. But it's not like you're shaking in your boots with Alan Bowman over there. In fact, you're kind of going, "Hey, throw it, man, throw it, because we can pick it off."
Yeah, he's tended to throw it to the other team a little bit more than they probably would prefer. What has he got? 12 picks on the season?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah, I think that leads the conference. So I would, and with what they can do running, I think you're probably feeling like if they're going to throw the football, this might be one of those games where you have the opportunity to go and get a few more turnovers than you have been getting.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this, and we've talked a little bit about this before. Scoring offense, you're first in the Big 12. You're first in the Big 12. But let me ask you, does it feel like it?
It doesn't to me, and the reason it does is, yes, you are first in the Big 12, your numbers. But what do we talk about? Let's just talk about a basketball player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some guys are superstars because they show up at the right time, right?
Mm-hmm.
In crunch time. Okay? I would say that you have a really good offense for the most part, but I would tell you in crunch time it has not been great. And so I think that's part of the reason, because we have had these quarters where we have been phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
We've done really good things. And then we've had other stretches, other quarters where we are non-existent. And so it's been just like the season, a roller coaster ride with your offense. Some of the times it's really, really good, but there's stretches where it's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where you're going nowhere, And I think that's why nobody feels good about it. It's just the inconsistency of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as we all know, if you have a game where you play 4 quarters and in 2 of the quarters you're awesome and 2 of the quarters you're bad, what are you walking away remembering?
The 2 quarters that are bad.
The 2 bad ones.
Yeah.
And that's what I think you remember games this season. I mean, go through the season schedule where at times our offense was non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't remember that you started scoring on your first 3 drives against Colorado. You just remember that you went silent after that for quite a while.
Yeah. So the last time you were in Stillwater, which was October the 8th, 2022, you lost the ball game 41-31. But in that game, you had 432 yards of offense, and Baron Morton threw for 372 yards. If I were to say to you, Barron's going to throw, I'll take 25, 50 yards off of that. Barron's going to throw for 325 tomorrow. How confident are you that you're going to win that football game?
15.
15%?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're throwing that much, you're behind.
That's what I would worry about a little bit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For a team that can't defend the run?
You got off to a terrible start, and you've had to just air it out the whole second half kind of a deal.
So, all right, what if I flip it around for you and say to you, Taj Brooks has 150 yards rushing. What's your confidence level, Jeff?
That's what I expect, so I'm right at 50-50.
Okay, so
I would ask you if we turned it over in the passing game.
Okay. Neither one of you guys are too high on tomorrow, are you?
I'm not low either. Like, I don't know how this game's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not that. It's just that I don't think you can make we rushed for this. Well, how many turnovers did we have? We throw for that. Okay, well, how many did they throw for?
Yeah.
It's hard to just be super confident one way or the other when you just give one stat. You've seen plenty of football games before where teams have dominated the stats, right? Except the turnover margin or the sack margin, and all of a sudden the other team wins.
Yeah. You can check out all of our predictions. Just go to doubleTSportsNetwork.com, and you'll see an article that Jamie has written that lists all of our
predictions are very sunshiny.
Yeah, I think I'm the most sunshiniest. I guess I had an extra gulp of Kool-Aid, but
what was your score?
My score was 34-10, and I'll stick with that.
You and Hacks.
Haxton, yeah, but that's somewhat clouded though, because I think he's just so down on Oklahoma State that he's picking Tech to win by a healthy margin, 18 points. But hey, he said this is the worst Oklahoma State team in over 20 years, and they can't tackle. God, I hope he's right.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen, my question for you today revolves around Red Raider football. I want you to tell me a player, for whatever reason, that you expected more from this year and hasn't been able to contribute more, again, for whatever reason. And I want you to tell me a player that has surprised you in a positive way, that has given more than you thought, that has been a bigger factor and put up quote-unquote bigger numbers than maybe you thought he would. Wow. So one positive surprise, one negative surprise to the Red Raider football team as far as players go.
Okay. It's kind of a hard question for a Friday. I feel like taking like an essay. I feel like the pop quizzes I feel like it's kind of a
while you look,
tough question.
Dre McRae, definitely thought we'd get more out of him, especially at the beginning of the season. For obvious reasons, we aren't. But the second year, thought that things were going to be going better this year. It looked like they were going to start that way with at least him on special teams, and then poof, erased basically from existence. Didn't think we'd get this out of Josh Kelly. I thought he'd be good. I didn't think he'd be your best receiver. I didn't think he'd be your go-to guy on the offense. And some of that is also the Dre McRae factor, but that's been nice to see. And I have enjoyed watching his play.
Well, not that I had huge expectations for him, but I sure thought he would be more of a factor than he's been, and that's Micah Hudson.
Yeah, I feel like this is the low-hanging
That's fruit. The low-hanging fruit, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, because I look at, what Taj has given you, and I mean, I didn't really have like massive expectations for Baron Morton, but I mean, it's not like he's not been terrible by any stretch of the imagination. I thought your tight end group would be a little bit bigger factors, but Jalen Conyers helped you win a ball game. John Carlos Miller has been productive. Mason Tharp to a certain degree.
It's funny because their numbers are not huge, but I do feel like all three have been factors.
Yeah, they've helped you. Yeah.
I think Tharp is a really good blocker, and we've seen the other two make massive blocks on plays that have led to, Conyers' block right against
Iowa
State helps Taj get into the end zone to win that game there. The block by John Carlos Miller against TCU should have helped you win that game on the fake kick. Miller's got 3 touchdowns. Conyers has 4, plus he's thrown one. I mean, I feel like their numbers aren't massive, but they've all been a big factor.
Yeah.
And Mason, I just think he's a really, really good blocker.
And for me, and you might go, well, that's low hanging fruit too, Chuck. But I think Jacob Rodriguez has been exceptional for your defense.
But you didn't expect that?
No, I did. I just think he's been even better than what I thought he was going to be. Okay. I just think he's been. I mean, he has 61 unassisted tackles, 40 assisted tackles, 101 total tackles. I mean, and he has 8.5 tackles for losses. He has 3 forced fumbles. He has a fumble recovery that was huge. He's had 4 quarterback hurries. No, I just think he has been even better than what I think they thought that he could be.
I feel like I knew 2 things heading into the season about our defense.
And he was one of them?
Jacob Rodriguez and Ben Roberts.
Okay.
That's what I knew.
Yeah, no, I think
that's what I was certain of.
Sure, I think that's fair. I'm just saying you asked, and that's just my thought.
That's fine.
I think he's been better than been even better than what you could have hoped for. He's way exceeded expectations. Mm-hmm. Okay, yours.
Okay, so I think you guys have each given really good answers here. I would tell you the one that I thought that we were going to get a lot more out of to give a different answer than Micah Hudson. Mm-hmm. I think Micah's the quote-unquote right answer is Cameron Valdez.
Yeah.
I really thought we were going to use him in a bunch of different ways, and he was going to be a factor for you this year. So
just the injury.
The fact that he had just 9 carries before the injury, really disappointing that he just didn't get much out of him. I think Caleb Douglas is the guy that I feel like has been better than what we expected. I mean, I feel like he was completely overlooked by a lot of people, so I thought he would be a factor. But I mean, there were times when Kelly was hurt that Douglas was your best receiver and was, making big time plays for you. So he's got almost 50 grabs on the year. He's over 600 yards, 4 scores. So I feel like Douglas has been the guy that has exceeded most people's expectations.
I think you, based on what your glowing remarks there with Caleb Douglas and then what he had to say last night, I think you guys would really get along well if you had to share a car together.
Okay.
He said last night that he wasn't a big Thanksgiving food guy.
Yeah.
He said no pie for him. He prefers cake or bread pudding. And he's a big bowler. He said he owns 5 bowling balls, three for him and 2 for his girlfriend. He says his girlfriend wins about 20% of the time. He does own his own pair of bowling shoes.
In my lifetime, I have. I don't own them now, but
yeah.
I have.
So I feel like that you guys are somewhat soulmates.
Does he have a Buffalo Bills bowling ball bag like I do?
Don't know.
Okay.
He was asked.
It'd be cool if he did.
He was asked the difference because they had A.J. McCarty on as well, the defensive back, and he asked Caleb Douglas. He said, what would be the difference for you if you were playing defensive back versus wide receiver? And he said, I'd have to go in reverse versus forward.
That's fair.
I thought that was really a really funny answer. So anyway, that was the deal there.
I'm glad to hear that he's doing so well academically, and he's going to graduate early, and he's going to be back for another year because he should be a huge factor for you next season too.
He said he was asked what he feels like he could get better at. He said he wishes he was faster. He wishes he was better at golf. He said he's got the bowling down. And then he also said this. He said he doesn't like going fast in the car when I'm not driving. Okay.
Okay, so tell him not to ride with you.
Right, yeah. right. Yeah, right.
Stay away from the Heinz mobile.
Yeah, stay away from me. It is 7:40 this morning.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It's a Michael Jackson day, and I'm fine with Michael Jackson's music. No, Michael, no, not the person, but Michael the music.
I love little Michael.
Lots of despicable people that have done good things from their job standpoint. It is what it is, right? Thanks for being with us. Chois Woodman's in for Jamie now. Jeff's still here. I'm still here. We come to you from the First United Bank studio, our perch our perch here this morning. And you can listen to us as well on the Double T 97.3 mobile app, and you can also participate on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the Double T 97.3 mobile app. What random city is available to us today, Choice, that can listen on the Double T 97.3 mobile app? Like if you're in...
how about Meadows of Dan, Virginia?
Oh, thanks. Meadows of Dan, Virginia.
Yeah.
These are real cities that you provide us with.
Or townships, or, they're places on a map.
Okay.
They're all places on a map. So.
Sheboygan? Does
Sheboygan's in there. Yeah.
Have the internet? Okay.
I think they do.
Okay, good.
Hadn't been up there in a while.
All right. You can weigh in as well on the Visual Edge IT hotline this morning at 806-771-0973. What was your take on the basketball game last night?
Well, it wasn't great, Bob.
Wasn't great.
It was kind of frustrating, but for whatever reason, it
what
feels
were you
like
frustrated with the most?
Defense, honestly.
Okay.
The amount of wide open threes they had. Your 3-point defense wasn't good. The layups they had far too often wasn't good.
You only gave up 20 in the paint, but your 3-point defense.
But it seemed like every paint bucket they got was a wide open layup.
Mm-hmm. They did get 12 in the second half.
I will say, I just think defense is where it starts for me. You weren't good defensively last night, but because you're going to have bad shooting nights. That's going to happen. You can't expect to be a 45% shooting team all season. You don't want to have too many 4 for 20 from 3 shooting nights.
Like this should be it.
This should be the low point.
Yeah,
you would hope. But you've really struggled, and it doesn't matter the coach, doesn't matter the era. It seems like ever since these multi-team events have been going on, Tech usually struggles in the first game. We've seen that a lot, whether it's Hawaii or the Bahamas or whatever. We've seen
Hawaii was a little different. Your coach went off and got married and left you.
Well, there's some of that, but that's what I'm saying. Regardless of circumstance or coach,
right?
Tech has struggled in these multi-team events often. Whether that's just you travel far and can't get going off the bus, because it did seem like the energy was better in the second half.
They left on Tuesday.
Sure, but they're also doing all sorts of non-basketball stuff in New York, and I don't know. I'm not making excuses or saying why it's happening. Tech has just struggled in these multi-team events in the first game a lot. So it wasn't just a shock that your first opponent that you really played, real opponent, gave you something. But it's a lot to learn from, and rather take this L here and learn from it than Big 12 play down the road.
Jamie's frustration, I think it's well warranted, is, okay, the 3-ball wasn't falling for you. Why didn't you attack the basket better?
I think you did in the second half.
And I pointed that out. It's fair. You had 26 of your 44 paint points came in the second half.
Yeah.
And then 10 of your 18 second chance points came in the second half, and you could make that, long rebounds.
And I think that's where the 3-ball was the iron pyrite for this team. Fool's gold.
Oh, wow.
Iron pyrite, yeah. Getting all geology on you.
I could have sat here all day long, and when you said iron pyrite, I had...
No, that's the fool's gold.
I had no idea what the hell
I think that's about. I think the 3-ball's been that for this team. Not that you're not good at it or can't utilize it, but since you were so good at shooting the 3 through the first 4 games of the season, you leaned on it way too much, especially at the start of the game last night, and you leaned into it. Started out 1 for 10 in the first half, and it's something that can absolutely lure you in.
That's the iron pyrite reference.
The iron pyrite reference. You like that one?
I might I might steal that tomorrow with at some point in time.
Okay.
Like when the Lady Raiders, when we have a good shooting night, because we haven't had a good shooting night yet. We played pretty good defense. But Adley Blacklock has been the best 3-point shooter, but I'm not going to say her stuff's fool's gold because that's what she does. She shoots the 3. Have you seen her shoot?
Yes.
It's a funky shot.
Yeah.
It becomes like from apparently a broken hand, and then and that's how she had to adjust her shot. Okay, but it's as funky a shot as I've seen, and you probably don't remember this player because it was my first year doing women's hoops. but we had a player named Minta Spears.
I remember.
And Minta, she shot the ball almost from her waist.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, and unfortunately for her, she got hurt in a road game at Arizona State and really was never the same player for you. In terms of, she had a knee injury.
I do remember her.
It was like late in the game.
All that. Yep.
It was It was her freshman year. It was late in the game, and Coach Curry put her in to get some minutes, and she screwed up her knee.
I think I was on the board for that game, Chuck. Back when we had a board op for
that right?
For the Lady Raider games.
That was also the same game as
one of the first years at the station for me.
That was also the game that was the triple overtime win over Kansas, where Coach Tuberville and Kevin Oliver kind of had a little tête-à-tête on the sideline.
Oh yeah, I do remember that one too. Yeah,
it's a memorable day.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm. This is no panic time, obviously, for Tech. It's disappointment because I really think this is a talented team that could have been good enough to be undefeated going into that A&M game or even into Big 12 play.
Yeah, so we talked about this yesterday, and people have already kind of banged on us for this, which is fair because we kind of thought they'd be undefeated until January. Well, that lasted.
That went away fast. Yeah, I mean, but I think you're talented enough to have been undefeated. Obviously, you took your lumps yesterday, and it will be hopefully you're better for it.
Iron pyrite. I got to write that down so I can remember that. So I can refer that to with Fink. He's a smart guy, so he'll know.
Fink will know.
Yeah, he'll know. He's very smart.
Fink is studious.
He really doesn't need me. I mean, I'm a lackey.
Of course, he needs you.
I make everybody look good. I make everybody look good, don't I? For saying the wrong stuff.
For the good reasons, Chuck.
Nah. All right, we'll pick Choice's brain a little bit more about Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. They'll play tomorrow. We'll have coverage for you from Stillwater, and then Optimum Game Day live coverage begins at 7 in the morning with Mark Finkner and Nick Long with Saturday Morning Quarterback, and all the way through the Double T 973 Coors Light post-game show with our friend Rob Bro.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.